AM 1220, KHTS, HometownStation.com. I am T, and I am sitting here today with Dr. Mark Phillips, who is actually from Trinity Classical Academy, and two of their seniors, Ryan Totten and Cole Maimani. Hello, fellas. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Speak in there so I can hear exactly where everybody is. Say hi, Ryan.
Hi.
Say hi, Cole.
Hi, Cole.
All right, and Dr. Phillips.
Hello.
All right,
Glad to be here.
Dr. Phillips, I love reading the words that you're a celebrated scientist and professor. You worked as a principal researcher at Vanderbilt University for many years before you went on to get your PhD at Louisiana Baptist. And you were also at the University of Oxford, England, and you've been teaching at Trinity since 2011, and I understand that's how long you've been in the Santa Clarita Valley. Well, sir, welcome to the SCV.
Thank you. Very glad to be here. It's awesome town.
It is awesome town and awesome school from all that I hear, Trinity Classical Academy. We're going to talk a little bit about your speaker series that's coming up, but I also want to touch on a couple of things. Trinity Classical Academy is your science differs at Trinity from other schools, and as the scientist and professor at the school, I'd love to ask you, first of all, we know your credentials. Working at the university level and doing everything that you've done, what brought you to teach at a high school like Trinity?
Well, several years ago, I started realizing the next generation, we needed to really reach them younger. With the fact that science is rooted and founded in Christianity historically. And so I started getting convicted to realize I really want to start teaching science and theology at the secondary level. So we call our department the Theology and Science Department, not just the Science Department, because we realize how integrated these two disciplines are. So that was the first step in realizing that was a great need, and you're seeing more and more professor level people going down and teaching at that level now as they're realizing this need. Secondly, I agree with Dr. Reynolds, who founded the Torrey Honors Institute at Biola. I agree with what he said about Trinity. He said it's the best school in California and one of the top schools in the nation. And so you combine those two things together, the fact that my 3 adult kids all live in the Southern Cal area, it fit together for the perfect storm, and here I came.
Well, welcome again to the Santa Clarita Valley.
Thanks.
Now, let me ask, how does the science at Trinity, the teaching of it, differ from any other school that we have here in Santa Clarita? What makes you different?
Yeah, well, as noted, first of all, just the name itself of the department, Theology and Science. We
and that's nowhere else
two.
Here in the Santa Clarita Valley.
Right. Well, not in the same way we integrate them.
I see.
First of all, you see a general idea out there that's a false idea that science and religion are at war. Science and Christianity are at war, and that's just a false notion created in the 19th century. Science has its roots in Christian thought. It was invented as a way of approaching what used to be called natural philosophy, which used to be the name for science. And so you find the Christian roots of science historically. And so we would not even have the scientific method without Christian thought of Reformational Europe. These scientists believed that you could study a rational universe, reach rational conclusions about it, because they believed in a personal, rational God whose universe, whose creation reflected him. So we integrate that and tie that in both historically and contemporarily by, say, in biology, we look at life systems and show how there's strong evidence for the design element. There are informational systems in the DNA that codes how proteins are built in a cell, for instance. And so we integrate the fact that there's a theological perspective on scientific observations.
Have you ever read Francis Collins' book?
Yes.
Because he's the gentleman who wasn't really a believer until he started cracking the genome project.
Yes, there was a dual-sided genome project. One was private and one was government. He was head of the government side of it. And they actually, one of the few government projects that actually finished ahead of schedule. They completed the mapping of the human genome around 2003. And he said the God of the laboratory, the God of the genome, is the same God we worship in the cathedral. And what he meant was he became so convinced
Absolutely.
that there's design and intelligence behind the coding that he realized
There was no
there
way
is
he
a
could.
God.
It's one of my favorite books.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
Okay, gentlemen, our seniors here, Ryan, Totten, and Cole. I totally butchered your name earlier, didn't I? Mamoni?
Mamoni. Yeah,
Mamoni.
it's tough. Don't worry.
So I'm just going to call you Ryan and Cole. So I would like to ask you a couple questions. How do you feel, in particular, let me ask you, Cole, since we started with you, how the teaching of science is different there, and also how do you feel? What is it about science at Trinity that touched your heart and your mind?
Well, I've been going to Trinity since I was a kindergartner, and I've been raised through the system pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Dr. Phillips taught me both biology and chemistry, and he's always made very clear the arguments of both sides. He hasn't just favored the Christian perspective or the secular perspective, which I find is very helpful, especially when I'm going to move on and move to college, that I'm going to be able to reason and think about both sides.
So you feel that the orientation of your science curriculum so far, do you feel it's sheltered you, or you feel like you're okay? You've been exposed to what's being quoted as the prevailing secular thought of the scientific community. You feel ready?
Yeah, I do feel ready. I mean, it's definitely going to be a struggle, and a lot of my preconceived notions are probably going to be challenged. But I'm just fine with that. They've been challenged in class by the teachers, and it's been a safe environment where they're able to challenge my ideas, and then when I can't come to an answer, they can help to provide those answers for me and to fill in what I don't know.
Awesome. Just so you know, for the rest of your adult life, you're going to be questioned on everything that you possibly even like, even for dinner. What? Seafood? How could you eat seafood? Trust me, everything's going to be questioned. All right, let me ask you, Ryan, how do you feel that the science curriculum at Trinity is distinct from others you're familiar with?
Well as the fact that theology and science are integrated kind of together, like Cole and Dr. Phillips said, I think that the fact that the classes are smaller, as they are because it's a smaller school, it really allows you to have a personal connection with your teacher or your professor in a way that is very special, because if you have a question about something you previously thought or a belief that you had, you can go to them and they're more than willing to help you see.
They have the time and the energy, and it's a little easier for them than if you were in a class of 35.
Definitely. There's more of an opportunity for a personal connection between teachers and students.
All right, well, you have a big event coming up. Dr. Stephen Meyer from the Discovery Institute is coming October 12th, I believe it is. Can you tell us a little bit about the event, Dr. Phillips, and what Dr. Myers will be speaking about?
Yes, Dr. Myers a world-class speaker. He's a Cambridge graduate. We call it that other university, and he graduated in philosophy of science. But he's also quite the expert in both the functioning of the cell and this great historical biological event called the Cambrian explosion. Ryan and Cole could tell you all about it because they're drilled about it during biology. And it was a historical time when all the major body types appeared all at once, as if there was some kind of special creation that took place. And the Cambrian explosion, it haunted Darwin until his death, because he realized this was some inexplicable reality that did not fit his theory. And Dr. Meyer's an expert on this. He's going to be talking about it and how the Cambrian explosion does point to evidence for special creation. It does point to evidence for intelligent design behind the diversity of life as we know it. And it's going to be a phenomenal talk. He's a great speaker. He's a great guy. As I said, he's world-renowned, very well-respected among both believing and unbelieving scientists.
All right, so hence the name of the series, the speaker series. This particular one is called Darwin's Doubt, The Explosive Origin of Animal Life and the Case for Intelligent Design. This is a free event. It is open to the public. It is a Q&A. It's taking place Monday, October 12th, 7 p.m. at Trinity Classical Academy. For more information, you could go to trinityclassicalacademy.com. You can call them 296-2601, 296-2601. They are located on Kelly Johnson Parkway in Valencia. Dr. Phillips, Cole, Ryan, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And
Thanks for
we
having
will
us.
be hearing more about Trinity Academy in days to come. And you guys better come back when you're doing great things in science. I'm going to be here waiting for you.